Interesting year for New Zealand drivers overseas. Brendon Hartley has really made people sit up and take notice, which he did recently at Macau. It is a world-famous race, and if you want to find out all about it, there's a very good book on it. It's called Memories of a Grand Prix. So many famous drivers have raced there, Ayrton Senna among them, Michael Schumacher as well. Memories of the drivers, memories of the races, and thoughts about the very difficult racetrack as well in this excellent book. As for Hartley, well, he won the Formula Renault Euro Cup title this year with a round to spare. He was invited to the Formula 3 Zandvoort Masters in August and finished an impressive fourth. He was invited to race at Macau, this world-famous street race. Just his second time at a Formula 3 event. Once again, he showed that he is a young New Zealander in the fast lane.
The Macau Grand Prix in China came at the end of a European Championship winning season for Palmerston North teenager Brendon Hartley. The daunting street circuit would be a tough challenge for the youngest rookie in 25 years of Formula 3 Macau mayhem.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely the least experienced. I think normally to be eligible to race here, you need a lot of experience in F3 anyway. So we were lucky to even get an entry to race here. But no, I mean, in the end, there's no reason why I can't do the job, you know. But no, I mean, obviously it feels nice to be the youngest. But finally one day I'm not going to be able to keep saying I'm the youngest. You know, I'm getting a little bit older every year. So, but it's still nice.
Well, what was your approach to the weekend when you first came here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was a little bit nervous and. You know, I just took it very slowly because obviously this track, if you push a little bit too hard, I mean 1 centimetre too much and you're in the wall and you're missing the session. So I mean I took it very slowly, learned the track properly, and finally in the warm up this morning I was the 4th fastest and with quite a good time, you know. So I definitely showed everyone that I was fast enough, but again the result wasn't there quite to show. But
Jarvis making his way into the.
How do you have to change your driving style for a street circuit?
I mean obviously you've got to be really concentrated the whole time. I mean you've always got to be concentrated, but this is even more so. You know, you can't just run a wheel off the grass or something like this. But I mean, the hardest thing is just getting close to the walls. I mean, especially on the inside of the track. You know, you've got to come within millimeters of the wall to actually be fast. You know, to get on the right rubber, to get on the grip. And I mean, I think that's one of the hardest things. You know, and to not be able to see the exit and just be able to nail it. Just trusting that you know the track perfectly and know the car perfectly.
You were keen to learn the track. You did a lot of laps in practice, which was good.
Yeah, as much as I could. We had 2 30-minute practice sessions, and I took every lap and did every lap that I could. Finally, in qualifying, I hit the wall. Not very hard, but that ruined kind of my weekend. Well, not my weekend, but it ruined the hard work for taking my time, you know, when finally I hit the wall slightly in qualifying. But all I can say is I wasn't the only one. I think more or less every driver in the field hit the wall at least once this weekend. So, no, I think, I mean, again, it's a great experience for me, and I feel very confident to come back to this track next year and hopefully go for the win.
Dunedin-born Dick Bennett is the king of Macau Formula 3. 2 wins, 1 with Senna, and 3 second places. So what does this Kiwi guru of British Formula 3, 14 drivers of his into Formula 1, think of Brendon's performances to date?
Fantastic. To see him do well in the European Renault Championship should be a good incentive for young Kiwi drivers and supporters, not just the drivers, but they need financial backing, and it's proved that the young kids can make it. So now moving into British Formula 3, he should have a good opportunity, and at such a tender young age he's got a very good career ahead of him.
Brendon's new Carlin Motorsport team are also impressed by the newcomer. Here's their race engineer.
Very professional. I think we've had a really good weekend, although Brendon's not going to see it like that. The result wasn't quite what he was hoping for, but from our point of view, he's been really quick in all the corners. Just been a little bit slow in a straight line, which isn't really his fault, but he's handled that well. You know, it's frustrating, but you know, for me, I see that as a good learning experience for him.
Matt, the team's had an enviable reputation in British Formula 3. I guess that puts additional pressure onto Brendon because he's really shown his hand this weekend, hasn't he?
Yes, I would say. I think he's going to have high expectations for next year.
Brendon's recent results have put the spotlight on his early successes at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Obviously, Brendon won our very first race 3 or 4 years ago, and here he is at Macau GP, and, you know, an outstanding effort for him this weekend. He's achieved every goal the team set him, and, you know, to be 4th in the warm-up this morning is really, really incredible, and, you know, he's next year, I think he's going to be on the pole here, you know, good chance.
As the 30-car field prepared for the start of the 25th Formula 3 Grand Prix, Brendon was getting recognition from the commentators.
Brendon Hartley, what a story for the New Zealander. Turned 80 last week. The youngest man ever to compete in this event. What a story it would be for New Zealand if he were to come through. And he was fourth fastest in the warm-up. There's every chance that Brendon Hartley could just present a huge surprise. He's only done 2 races in Formula 3. There was the Formula Masters at Zandvoort. He came fourth in that. Impressive stuff. As Willy Weber watching on there. Here we go then. It's the Silver Jubilee. Ayrton Senna kicked us all off. Who's going to do it in 2007? Out go the lights and away we go. And Asma gets another scintillating start. Third place, Ashima gets away well too, but Asma's already alongside the poleman. Away they go down towards the Mandarin. Everybody cleanly through that first corner, but Marco Asma of Estonia. What a brilliant start by the youngster. Jarvis has recovered well.
Actually, again, I got a really good start. In fact, I was passing a couple of cars, and then I was on the outside, and someone actually hit the wall going through the kink. I lifted a lot, actually, because I couldn't see a thing, where the others on the inside kept it flat, and that's where I lost my places back again. And after that, I drove a normal race. I passed Kennard. I was much faster than him. And after that, I was running P9, I think, catching P8. And then they brought the safety car out, and then that was the big problem for me. After the safety car, 3 cars were able to tow straight past me. It was quite difficult for me because everyone was so bunched up, and such it's 2 kilometers straight. And when you're able to slipstream, it's quite difficult for me to stay in the front there. So yeah, it's complicated, but finally it's not the end of the world. The team's really happy about my weekend and feeling positive for next year.
And I think Trevor Carlin could be well pleased with Brendon Hartley, the New Zealander, just 18 years of age, and taking on the British Championship next year with Carlin and finishing ahead of the likes of Kobayashi.
You know, I think I can take a lot of things out of the weekend. You know, I mean, this track, I think it's the best in the world. You know, and I really learned a lot from driving around the streets. It's my first time on a street circuit, and my second time on one of these cars. You know, so I'm definitely a little unexperienced compared to most of these drivers. Which, I mean, in fact, a lot of these drivers have been testing Formula 1 already. You know, and I'm in a really high class of drivers, but No, it's really exciting for me with the new team. They did a really great job for me. You know, for sure next year it's gonna. I think this race was really positive for next year.
What was your approach to the weekend when you first came?
Obviously, none of this is possible. I mean, I just come from a small family in Palmerston North, and without Red Bull's help, I'd still be racing in New Zealand, or maybe not even. So. And also, I have really good backers in New Zealand. Peter Johnston, who's helping me to live in Europe. In fact, so I mean, there's not many people that actually have this funding behind them and this support behind them, pushing them along. You know, and like you said, it is a lot more pressure with Red Bull pushing you very hard all the time. But at the same time, that's something a racing driver needs to deal with, and it gets easier and easier every race. So
a 12th place finish for Brendon Hartley in his Macau debut. This year's winner finished 15th in 2006. So there's always next year for this talented Kiwi.
You may have heard the name Kamui Kobayashi mentioned towards the end of that piece. Hartley beat him at Macau. Kobayashi has recently been confirmed as Toyota's 3rd driver in F1. We'll feature Brendon Hartley in his first year in the British Formula 3 Series, coverage of every race next year on Powerbuilt Tools Motorsport. Now it's the bikes and the World Championship deciding race in the 125cc class in Valencia.
It's 24 laps that will decide the outcome of the World Championship. Looks like an unbelievable start by Paul Espargaro from the 3rd row of the grid. Here he is, number 44 on the yellow bike. He leads away, and it's Bradley Smith, the 60-year-old British rider, in 2nd place. They both come from the 3rd row of the grid. They are flying at the front. Now, where's Hector Farbel? Where's Gabor Tamashi? I think Tamashi's probably in 4th place. Is that Pablo Nieto also making a good start as they race after Bradley Smith? It is Pablo Nieto 2nd, Bradley Smith 3rd, and Hector Farbel in 8th place, and Gabor Tamashi in 4th. So after one lap, it's favouring Gabor Tamashi. Hector Farbel with all the work to do. There we go. Paul Espargaro, he did lead, but now Pablo Nieto leads the way. Pablo Nieto at the wrong end of his 125cc career. Paul Espargaro at the very beginning of his. But Gabor Tamashi has now taken the lead where he wants to be. Tamashi, 3 wins already this season. Could he make it 4? His 5th pole position. Tremendous stuff going on behind them. There is Hector Farbel. He's trying to get past Bradley Smith. He's got him because Bradley Smith has run wide. Now he's got Paul Espargaro in his sights. He's currently in 4th place. He's moving up into 3rd. He's got to get after Tamashi at the front, as he has no chance of winning that world title. and when he